guys, so I have a setup here today of how I normally get my booth set up when I'm doing a craft fair. So I just wanted to give you a quick tour and show you a little bit more in depth about how I set things up. So right now I have my tent set up on my back porch, and so you might hear some cars going by or my pigs in the background, just because we're in my yard. So I got this canopy from Walmart actually. It's about $70. And this was the first year that I started doing summer shows. And if you're going to be doing an outdoor event, I highly recommend getting a canopy. I think that's really essential if you're going to be outdoors, only because obviously if it rains, you don't want to get rain all over your stuff and to block the sun. Right now, I've had a bit of a challenge with the lighting, just because it's the one sunny day that we've had in a while, and it gets a little bit hard to block all the light. So let's just go through everything and I'll show you my setup here. So I have two tables set up. They're just folding tables. I think I got these ones at Walmart too, but everything here you can get on Amazon because they sell everything. And so they're just regular folding tables with these tablecloths, and I got these tablecloths at Amazon. I love these because they fit right over the whole thing, and they're long, and it just covers all that you would store underneath. I've got my bins and everything that I keep under there. And what I do, so I have these curtains set up in the back, and that's mostly just to block the sun, but if you want, you can put some fabric or a tapestry up. Ideally, you would do them all the same pattern, but like I said, there's like a glare of sun coming through there, so I had to block everything, and I needed to use the blackout curtain. So, but if you're in person, I mean, that doesn't matter. It's just for lighting for film. So if you're just selling in person, nobody really cares about that. The one thing that I do plan on getting is a sign that says Crafty Little Gnome and have it up the back. So let's start at this side. I've got all my jewelry out here. One of the best places to buy supplies is actually at the thrift store. So Value Village and Goodwill have so many awesome things. You can get, you know, little stands like this for jewelry for a couple bucks. They also have, like, I think I paid $5 for this. It's just a metal thing that I keep the bracelets on. And if it's not the right color, you can just easily spray paint it. So most of my things I've got from the thrift store. All of my black draping fabric I've got from the thrift store as well. And I'll just show you. Under here is actually just like a big pink bin. That's all I'm using to stack things on. And this is actually what I use to transport all my stuff. So I'll put all of my jewelry stands in these buckets and then just carry them into my car. And that's really been super easy, and I like to use double duty, so there's no point in having like an expensive stand if you can just reuse something that you're already needing to transport your stuff. So I like to group things together. So if I have, you know, a necklace for sale, then ideally, I would place different pieces of jewelry that people could buy together. So, you know, you might want to put a pair of earrings right beside it that match. So that way, if somebody's looking at the necklace and they decide they want to buy it, you can say, oh, well, there's a matching earring set, and show them that as well. And that can help increase your sales. Another thing that I always do is put the price on everything. You want to make sure that everything has a price so that people don't have to ask, because people get shy about asking and they generally won't. So you want to make sure the price is on everything. And then another thing I do is I will write what it is. So for example, I put amethyst on here, $10, so that people know what kind of stone it is. And I think that helps as well, because if people see, oh, it's amethyst or it's turquoise, and oh my gosh, it's only $10, they know it's the genuine stone and that it's a good deal. Another thing I'll do is I'll write what it is if it's not clear. So for this one, for example, this is a sun catcher, and I wrote right on there, sun catcher, $30. because I sell things that are not just jewelry, people will see this and be like, is this like a necklace or something? No, it's a sun catcher, and they can see that as well. If you do sell something like sun catchers or dream catchers or things that might hang, you can also hang it from the canopy. There's a lot of space on the sides where you can hang things on hooks, and that's really nice to do. Again, over here, so I actually have a sign printed, and I tried to make it as nice as possible. So instead of just writing out, you know, crappy little gnome, I printed it out on the computer, I put it in a frame, and I put it on a stand so that it looks nice. And I say debit and credit cards welcome, so that people know that I accept debit and credit and they don't have to ask. If you're selling something that people wear, always put a mirror available so they can try it on and see. And if somebody's looking at something, I will encourage them to try it on. If they're kind of looking, I'll say, you know, try it on, see if it fits, and then they can go and look in the mirror and see if it looks nice. I also have this stand up here. This actually has a pole that goes in it so it can stand on its own if I don't want to place it on the table. And I think it's nice just to put some stuff on it, like a necklace or a hat, and it just kind of adds to the table. And let's see, with my hats, what I'm planning on doing is getting some of those styrofoam heads and decorating them. I've seen some with paper mache that looks really good, and then just placing the hats on them so they're not necessarily just flat. With this one here, I even just put in a ball of yarn, and then, so you can always just stuff it with like cotton or yarn, and I think that looks nice too, just so that people can see it more like 3D. And let's see some other tips here. One thing I always recommend doing is making your booth look as nice as possible. You want to make sure things look really classy and expensive, and that way when people come up and they start looking, they might be surprised at how reasonable your prices are. Like, oh wow, this turquoise necklace is only $20. So it really is important to have a professional appearance. Realistically, the only thing that you need to have is a table and a tablecloth. If you have a table and a tablecloth, that's all you need. But it really helps to add height. You're going to be able to place more things on your table if you have height. I could even put another really small shelf here. I could make one and then have more layers, or put one down here and I would have more space to put stuff. Typically this is less than I usually bring with me. I try to make it as full as possible and bring as much as I can, but I did a show the other day and I haven't replenished all my stock yet. So I probably have three or four more hats. This would be completely full, and I even have space here to put a third table, which I have. You could put a third table right there. One of the things that people aren't necessarily sure about is the layout, because you can put your tables like here, how I did in an L shape, and then assuming that over there behind the camera is where people will be walking by, then they could come in and then start browsing. A couple things to note about that. What I find is that it's better to be on the outside of the table closest to where people are walking. So if I was at a show and I was in a corner booth, I would kind of have this whole arrangement flipped around. So if people were walking by that way, I would flip everything around, and then people would be able to walk on the outer edge. Because I sell small things, people, if they're far away, might not be as inclined to walk in. It would be easy for them to just walk on by. So you want to make sure that they don't do that. You want to get up as close to them so that they can see something and it'll catch their eye, and then they're going to want to come closer and look. So just keep that in mind. And even if you just have one table, sometimes I'll just bring one table with me depending on how much I have for sale and what kind of show I'm doing. I would put that right up to the edge so that when people walk by, they want to come in right close and they can see what I'm selling. You want to make it super easy for them. You don't want to have people walking by not caring about what you're selling. You want to make it easy so that they can see what you have for sale, have something that grabs their attention, and then they can come in and you can start talking to them. One of the things that I also do is on the jewelry stands is I'll try to put the interesting pieces that people really like and that people talk about every time that I sell them. This one here, it's a beetle necklace, and this one always gets compliments. I don't even necessarily get sales on it, but people like to come up and look because it catches their eye and it's something different. So you want to be unique and have something different. You can use different colored tablecloths. It's whatever kind of goes with your brand and your style. I like black just because everything shows up on it and I think it looks classy and nice. The only thing is that I have a yellow lab. You can probably hear her. She's sitting down on the ground right now. And so dog hair is an issue. So I always have one of those lint rollers ready to go. And I have to make sure I get every little speck of hair, otherwise it's going to bug me. But, you know, if you have white pets, you could always just do like all white or something with a pattern so that you don't have to worry so much about stains or marks. So that's something to keep in mind as well. So this is sort of a regular setup of how I would do a booth. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions or comments, send me an email, contact me on Facebook, and I will do my best to help you out. All right, we'll see you guys for the next module.